Ah, come closer, child. Let me tell you of the Shadowed Woods, the place no one dares tread after the sun kisses the horizon. The story? Oh, it's as old as the trees themselves, passed down from tongues long turned to dust. They say the woods are alive, not just with animals or the rustle of leaves, but with something deeper. Long ago, when the village of Ember Hollow was no more than a scatter of huts and fire pits, there was a man named Eric. He was a hunter, sharp of eye and sure of aim. They say he had a heart full of pride, too full perhaps, for he often laughed at the old tales about the Shadowed Woods. Stories for frightened children and idle elders, he called them. But the woods, they've always had a way of dealing with the proud. One twilight, as the sky bled orange and crimson, Eric ventured too far. He was chasing a stag, a magnificent creature with antlers that seemed to catch the fading sunlight like gilded branches. The beast led him deeper and deeper into the forest, until the familiar paths grew strange, and the air turned colder than it should have been. But pride kept him moving forward. Finally, he cornered the stag in a clearing. The poor creature's breath rose in frosty clouds, though it was high summer. Eric knocked an arrow, ready to strike. But just as he released, the stag turned and locked eyes with him. Not the eyes of a deer, mind you. Oh no, these were the eyes of something ancient, something that knew. Eric's arrow missed its mark and the stag bolted. But before he could follow, the forest changed around him. The trees creaked and groaned, their branches reaching down like gnarled fingers. The mossy ground he stood on became soft, almost like flesh, and the air filled with a low, rhythmic sound, like the heartbeat of the woods itself. He turned to flee, but the paths he thought he knew were gone, swallowed by darkness. And then he heard it, a whisper, faint at first but growing louder, voices weaving together in a language he didn't understand. He shouted for help, his voice echoing back to him with cruel mockery. They say the Shadowed Woods took him that night, but not like a beast takes its prey. No, the woods have their own ways. When the villagers went searching the next morning, all they found was his hunting knife, lying clean and untouched on a bed of moss. And in the years since, travellers passing through the forest at dusk claimed to see him, a shadowy figure with eyes like the stag's, watching from between the trees. Some say Eric became a part of the woods, bound forever to serve as a warning to others. Others believe he roams freely, hunting not for game but for the foolish who, like him, think themselves above the old tales.